Hi Capricorns, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Tarot. So nice to see you here. So today we're going to do your October predictions and advice. Sorry this came a little bit late. I kind of underestimated the amount of energy that would be going into this, but I so appreciate you being here now. So we're going to get right into it. This is going to be a pile for your general energy of October. Then we'll go ahead and pull cards for each area of your life, and then we're going to move into October advice. So let's see what we have for your general energy of October. We have the dead end in the middle. We have poised. We have growth. We have Sisterhood of the Rose. And we have Alder. Interesting. So Capricorn, right off the bat, I think that October is going to be a month of some interesting learning lessons for you. I think that there are going to be some experiences where you're really going to have the opportunity to clear out any old habits, or for some of you guys, something like I'm feeling something like clutter. So anything that isn't serving you right now, I think that October is going to be a very good month for you to clear some of that out. I think for many of you, it's going to be a strategic pause and a good time for you to evaluate what you have in front of you and plan your next step for strategic moves next, which is very much in your wheelhouse already, Capricorn. So I think October is going to be a month in which you're really focusing on continuing to do some careful planning and prepare everything for the next step, so to speak. This poise card here gives me the indication that you are specifically going to be kind of getting everything in position to move into your next phase of growth. We all know that when it comes to you, when you're ready to go, you're kind of all seams ahead, so to speak. So before you kind of get the steam train going, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting in any preparations, you're going to be gathering any information you need, and you're going to be seeking some answers, is what I am also hearing, Capricorn. I think many of you guys are going to be specifically trying to learn more about something while you're in this planning stage so that you can take it into the next area of your growth and into your plans. Let me get this to be a little bit brighter for you guys. Here we go. But I am going to look into the guidebook for Dead End to see if there's any messages for you there, as well as Alder. With the general dark colors of this Alder card leading into the Dead End, I think it's quite intriguing. I don't find it quite, I don't think it's as ominous as it appears at first sight, but I think that this might be an indication of some important shadow work to be done in October that poises you in the right position to lead into your next phase of growth. So it's definitely a bit of important shadow work, and I think it's going to go well as well, because I think that doing this is also going to help you grow quite a lot spiritually. But let me see what we have for this Dead End card. Yes, so exactly what I was saying. The Dead End usually indicates just a closing of a certain chapter. I think that you guys had just finished an important cycle of your growth, or important cycle of your life, and now you are getting ready to move into the next chapter, so to speak. So I think October is very much about tying up all the loose ends of this current cycle, of this current chapter, and preparing everything to transition smoothly into the next one. I'm going to look up this Alder card real quick, and then we are going to get some more context with each area of your life. Alder. Drawing this card is a warning that a conflict is on the horizon. Alder charcoal ignites quickly and was historically used to manufacture gunpowder and other explosives. Even the tree itself is said to be responsible for starting heated arguments. When tension does occur, try not to retaliate. A quarrelsome reaction will only make things worse. Try to play the mediator instead. Yep, so I definitely think that there is going to be a little bit of action involved in closing this certain chapter this month. But since we only have the singular alder card pointing to that, I think it's just going to be a relatively small, minor incident, but an important one that kind of kickstarts the rest of this. It might kind of just be part of this closing of this chapter. For example, if you were resolving a larger conflict with a friend, but you're kind of bringing things to a close, you guys are kind of resolving things, maybe there will be just a little bit of a spark at the end when you guys are just getting all your feelings out, just venting everything out to clear the way for new feelings and new mindsets, then that's always going to be a little bit exciting just before it comes to a close. But that's what I'm feeling for the general energy of October. Let's go ahead and move into the different areas of your life. Spirit, what does health look like in October for my Capricorns? Ooh, we already have two that were flying out. We have the Page of Cups and the Six of Swords for your health. I think that you guys are in the same vein as this general ending a chapter and moving on. I think that something similar is happening in your health this month, Capricorn. It looks like many of you guys are also closing a kind of chapter for your health journey and moving on to better things. I think that if you weren't already struggling with your health, I think that there is a big emphasis on improving what you have so far and moving on. I'm getting a sense of either a level up or a new kind of health journey in the positive direction. I think it's something that you feel very excited about and generally feel very good about. For example, maybe you guys are making some real initiatives to eat healthier this month, or you're starting a new movement regimen. Maybe some of you guys are getting into a new fitness routine, or this could also be for mental health. Some of you guys are making some serious steps towards setting up a good mental health regimen for you. I definitely get the sense that there is going to be an improvement in your physical and or mental health this month, Capricorn. Spirit, what does my Capricorn's social life look like in October? Oops, we have the King of Cups in reverse. Looks like there is going to be less of a focus on social life this month, Capricorn. Unfortunately, it seems like there might be a little bit of conflict with others. I'm getting the sense for most of you guys, similar to my example earlier, you might have a potential argument with a friend this month. Nothing too serious, but looks like that's going to be kind of a highlight of your social life this month. I would advise many of you guys to kind of keep an eye on your words or how things come across. It could be on either side. For example, it could be you unfortunately having a misunderstanding in communication with a friend, but it could also be the other way around, where a friend is has a lapse in communication with you and causes a misunderstanding, but it definitely seems like move forward in your social life this month with some caution. Maybe take a little bit more of a pause whenever you are about to say something serious. But that is kind of the impression I get with this card, especially in this deck, since this King of Cups in reverse shows a clown, so to speak. But I do also get the sense that your social interactions on a larger level, it doesn't have to be all of them, but in general might take a little bit more of a serious tone this month. Spirit, what is in store for my Capricorn's creativity? We have the 10 of Bones in reverse or the 10 of Swords in reverse. It looks like your creativity this month is going to involve some kind of release or some kind of ending. With this larger theme of a chapter coming to a close and you moving into a new chapter in your life, it seems like creativity might be a big part of this. It could be the cause or the result, and by that I mean that oftentimes when we are closing a chapter, moving on to another part in our lives, our intentions change, and oftentimes that also involves the ideas that we'll end up getting in creativity. As your intention change, pretty much everything else in your life kind of reshifts itself often to meet that intention. So this could be an indication that your creativity is going to shift with this chapter ending in your life. But the shift isn't a bad one. I get the sense that it is just a simple change, kind of like a pivot in direction, or the, again, ending of a chapter that of something you were exploring your creativity. Either way, it looks like there's going to be a healthy change and or a release when it comes to your creativity this month. Spirit, what is going on for my Capricorn's finances this month? What is going on for finances this month for Capricorn? Oop, we have two cards here again. We have the Three of Wands in reverse and the Devil in reverse. It looks like there might be some work to do in finance this month, Capricorn. More specifically, I think that there is some indications here that finances might have been a little bit difficult lately, and maybe it has to do with this transition you're making. Maybe this is just something to clear up before you move into a new stage of abundance, but there seems to be some indication here that it would help you to find some help when it comes to your finances right now, whether that's help finding a better career situation, or help handling the amount of work that you have, or help managing your finances in general. I get the sense that, and this is very much in your wheelhouse, that you guys might have some trouble asking for help, and that might have actually caused a few of the hiccups in your financial house this month. I'm getting the sense that you've dealt with a lot of your financial matters completely by yourself up to this point, but this might be a good time for you to kind of join hands with others and lean on them a little to help them take some of the burden off of you. I definitely feel also a message to not be too afraid, as you know, sometimes with these readings and sometimes with the Devil card, they can seem a little intimidating when they come up, but I think that this is just a gentle indication that you will probably benefit better in your financial house if you reach out to others for help. It could be one other person, it could be your friend group as a whole, but even if you talk to others about how you're doing in your finances, that might also relieve some stress for you. But definitely get some help with your finances this month, and maybe as you're doing your planning into the next chapter of your life as well. So next we're going to pull a card to see what your career is looking like in October. This could be your work, but it could also be your studies or school or your major hobbies. Anything that you personally would consider to be your own career or on the path to your career. Spirit, what is going on in Capricorn's career this month? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. I'm just trying to organize these a little bit to make room for the last card after this. I get the sense that this month, some of you guys might be experiencing a level of insecurity within your career. Maybe you guys, as part of this larger closing of a chapter and preparing for a new one, are questioning your current career or your current hobby or current activity, and you're trying to figure out what it might be best suited to you. I get the sense that some of you guys are definitely doing some evaluation, but in the meantime, you might be wearing a kind of persona when it comes to other people if they start asking about your career plans, just because that could be a vulnerable area for you, which I totally understand. Sometimes it can feel a little bit private when people ask us about our current career plans or what we plan to do next in our lives. So that's the sense that I'm kind of getting for you, Capricorn. I think that it's something that is definitely kind of makes you feel some kind of way, and that's perfectly acceptable. The part of the work that you are doing internally this month might involve this career contemplation. And I think that while you are doing that work, you are not quite ready yet to kind of share with the whole world or communicate with those around you concretely what your plan is, because you kind of like to figure things out and make sure that your plans are finalized before you advertise them, so to speak. So I think that your career this month is going to be kind of taking a step back and going into the planning phases, and you might be putting that on pause on a public level, or in terms of like sharing it with your larger circle until you have that fully figured out. So this last placement is going to be optional. It's for what your romance is looking like, Capricorns, and that could be any of you who are single or not. Spirit, what does romance look like for my Capricorns this month? Romance for my Capricorns. Ooh. We have the World upright. So yes, right in line with our theme here, especially with the World coming up at the end of our looking through your houses. It looks like your romances are also coming to the end of a chapter this month, Capricorn. Doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are gonna break up if you're in a relationship or something, but on a larger level, you are finishing a kind of cycle, whether it might be your mindset in romance or your intentions in romance, but internally what you have maybe as a perspective or something in that nature is going to be coming to the end of a chapter and moving on to change into the next evolved stage of that in October. I also feel like with this imagery in general, it feels like it's definitely corresponding with some of this slightly macabre imagery we had in this altar card in the dead end. I think that's definitely corresponding to that. So it does look like some of the shadow work that you'll be doing this month also involves things in your romantic house. Again, you don't have to be in a relationship for that to apply. I think that in some cases, this placement can also point to just a way that you view love as a whole, or maybe how much you feel deserving of love, or how you treat yourself in terms of self-love. So it's definitely something to think about, but it looks like there's going to be a ending of a chapter in the romantic category this month. So this is kind of an overview. We are going to now move into your October advice. What we're going to be doing there is we are going to pull some cards for some larger FAQs on your October advice, and then we are going to just open the floor to spirit and have them let you know any messages they have for you to make the most of October. So first we are starting off with Spirit. Can you please tell me what is a challenge that my beautiful Capricorns are facing this month? What is a challenge my Capricorns will be facing this month? I feel like this one wants to hop out. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, so I think that you're going to be making some serious decision making this month, Capricorn. It looks like especially with the other cards that we've pulled so far in different areas of your life, as well as the overall theme, you're going to be making quite a lot of choices in different parts of your life as you're preparing for the next stage. With this spider here and all of the lessons that we learn from the archetype of the spider, I think that this definitely falls in line as you're moving into the strategic planning phase. Spiders are quite meticulous. Depending on the species, they take different levels of care in kind of finding where is best suited for them to lay their homes. They plan out their webs to be built in an intricate way. They plan out their hunting, and many of them even follow a certain routine throughout the day. So similarly to the spider, I think that you guys are going to be facing the challenge of making a lot of serious choices logistically and on the life level this month, and it might seem a little overwhelming, and I think that some of the choices are going to be stronger than others in the way that for some of them, you might feel quite sure of what you want to do, but for other ones, you might not feel as strong conviction, but you still have to make the choices, so to speak. So that seems to be the main challenge you'll be facing in October. Now we're going to look at Spirit. What should my Capricorns be mindful of in October? What is something my Capricorns should be mindful of in October? We have two cards here. We have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse. Look at these a little closer up here. So I'm hearing for you to be cautious of feeling too bogged down this month, especially with all that's going on and all the logistics that you are juggling. I think that something to be mindful of is ignoring any feelings of exhaustion or negative emotional responses you might have to making some of these decisions. I think you're going to be making some large life level planning this month, and for many of us that evokes natural emotions. And for example, even if we are moving on from a living situation that is not in our best favor, there is still a natural period where we might need to grieve or at least properly say goodbye to a current situation in order to feel clear and move on in a healthy way to the next one. I think that many of the situations you'll be facing this month will involve needing to pause and go through those proper phases of processing. And as I mentioned earlier, Capricorns, you are very much full steam ahead when you are ready to go. So I think that's something to be mindful this month, is to make sure that you slow down and take a moment to celebrate your victories, to process any emotions that you have as a response to changes that you're making, and especially as you're closing a larger chapter in your life, to reflect on that and properly process that so that you can properly move on to the next phase. I think that there is also another message of pacing this month, as you have quite a lot on your plate on a general basis, but as you're doing a lot of soul work this month, definitely pace yourself, as that can take quite a lot of energy. And if you push yourself too much, not only do you face the risk of getting burnout, but oftentimes we experience both physical and emotional pain as a result of burnout. So definitely watch out for being too caught up in all the logistics this month, and make sure that you pace yourself and just treat yourself as gently as possible. Finally, for this little FAQ section, I'm going to pull what Spirit advises for you to do for self-care this month. Spirit, what do you advise for my Capricorn's self-care this month? Ooh, we have number 24, flow like water. So right in line with what I was saying, for sure. Some things may not go according to plan this month, and I think that it's important to make sure that you do not hold yourself too hard, stringently to your plans, or to respond the way that you prefer to everything. Sometimes we can't control the emotions that we have, or the responses we have to things, and that's completely normal. So I think that this is a message not only to be flexible, but also to be very aware of the emotions that you're feeling this month, and to pretty much try and embrace them, especially if that's not something you're comfortable doing. I think for some of you, doing something involving water will also be a very good healing tool for you and a very good coping tool. I think that it'll be quite refreshing for some of you guys and offer you an opportunity to recharge as you are going through these other decisions in your life. So things like going to a water park, or going to the pool, or taking a hot bath, or going to the beach, I think are going to be very beneficial activities to you. I think that honestly, if it's too cold for you already to do that, I know this sounds a little silly, but I'll explain it. I'm getting the message of even looking at very serene imagery of water and relaxing images of the ocean, of lakes, of really serene places will be quite beneficial to you. I know that at first they can seem just like pictures, but honestly, just like the way that we interpret tarot cards, pictures can be very powerful and can transport us to a certain place and also invoke certain thoughts and emotions. And I think that that's going to be a very useful tool for you to take care of yourself properly this month, Capricorns. So finally, we are going to open the floor up to Spirit and just any advice they have for you on making the most of October. And then we will end the reading with some encouraging messages from Spirit. The Spirit, what advice do you have, or what messages do you have for my Capricorns on making the most of October? Ooh, we already have one. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have 2 already flying out. We have Justice upright, King of Wands upright, and one more coming up here. We have the 9 of Wands upright. So Capricorn, there are quite a few little things to go into here in terms of Spirit's advice to you. So we're going to go through everything little by little. First of all, some of you guys might be, as a result of being overwhelmed this month, there is a message to be cautious about finishing things too haphazardly. For example, if you guys have just way too much to do on your to-do list, there might be a temptation for some of you to just finish something as quickly as possible so you can check it off and move on to the next thing. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the way that this octopus is handling things here. Even though they are very good at multitasking on a regular basis, in terms of these larger decisions and larger work that you're doing this month, it might not be the best situation to multitask the way that you might be able to apply to other things. So first of all, I think that there's a message to make sure that you slow down and finish up the most important tasks with your full focus and your full energy. I think that there is also a message to caution for taking too many shortcuts in that same spirit of trying to just get things done as soon as possible. I definitely think that there are situations where that's helpful, but when it comes to large decisions in your life or making certain changes, I don't think that this is the time to do that. That being said, though, I do think that for some of the decisions you are making, I think that you might be put into a position where you might feel a little bit pressured. For example, other people in your life might be giving you unsolicited advice or kind of contributing their opinions when you didn't ask for them, or making too much noise. In those cases, I think that you should very much kind of stand up for yourself, Capricorn, and assert that you can make the best decisions for yourself in your life, that while you appreciate others' advice, you are the best qualified to be making major decisions in your life. For example, some of you guys might be choosing to take a different direction with something that a direction that you haven't taken before, and some of your loved ones around you with good intention might be asking you not to do that or to try something else, etc. But you know within your heart that is the way that you want to move forward. When that comes up, make sure that you are being fair for yourself and standing up for yourself and letting people know that you are the most qualified to make decisions for your life, and ask them to trust you. I think that there is also a message here that, in that same vein, if dealing with some of that ends up making you feel quite exhausted and quite defensive, there is definitely a call here to make time for you to do something that you find fun, for you to do things that bring you a lot of joy and help you relieve your stress, whatever that might be. For example, you might have a lot on your plate and a lot of things to do, Capricorn, but definitely schedule in time to do things that really light up your soul. And it might even be something as simple as catching a late night movie, or going out to one of your favorite restaurants, even if it's just for an hour within your busy schedule. I think that there's a call here to make sure that you make room for fun. and to make room to meet the people who are important in your life, as spending time with our loved ones can also be just as enriching and just as helpful when we are going through a hard time. I think that you're going to be working quite hard this month, and there might be some times where you feel quite exhausted and like you are just barely hanging in there. But I promise, Capricorn, you are going to make it through this month just fine. And you're going to come out the other side with so much to look forward to. I think that there is a bit of a sprint going on this month for you, but it's going to be largely so beneficial. And the next stage for you is going to be really exciting. Like, I'm feeling physically excited for you because I think that you're moving into a very exciting new chapter. Finally, we are going to wrap up with messages from Spirit for you to take into October. Spirit, what messages of encouragement do you have for my Capricorns to take into October? This one is definitely sticking out. Ooh, and it's 2. So we have, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless I am, and I choose love no matter what. I think that when you guys are feeling a little low this month, or you're feeling a little worried about the future, to gently remind yourself that Spirit is here to support you, and that you can trust yourself as well. That you are super reliable, Capricorn, and that you can trust yourself to make the right decisions. I think that as much as there is a message here to have faith in Spirit, I think that there is also a strong message here for you to have faith in yourself and your own ability, as well as your own judgment. We have obstacles are detours in the right direction. So just as I was saying, Capricorn, if there's times this month that you are feeling down or things don't seem like they are working exactly you want them to, just remember and have faith that things are working out just as they are meant to. And if there are obstacles, if there are things in your path or things that don't go according to plan, that strangely, even if it feels that way, they most likely are going according to our larger plan, the way that Spirit is always guiding us and is always with us. I think that obstacles can also be a way to gently steer you in the right direction. For example, if you're in an arena with bumper cars, right? And you are clashing with other bumper cars and the whole arena is lined with padding for the bumper cars. Technically, those are little collisions, but they are intentional little collisions that push you in an opposite direction. That is the way that you're meant to go and has a clearer path. So I know that was a weird analogy, but it seemed to be the one that Spirit wanted me to pull through. But I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here. I think that you're going to have such an important October, Capricorn. I think that there's going to be a lot going on, but all good things. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read for you. I hope that you resonated with some of this and that some of it was helpful. If you feel called to, please feel free to leave a like or to subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.